Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So far, we have explored how and when to use the zero, first and second conditionals. If you haven't watched those videos yet, you will find the links in the description below. Look at these pictures. A man missing a bus, a student who didn't pass a test, and a couple whose picnic was ruined by the rain. Have you ever thought, if only I had done things differently? Have you ever wished you could change something that happened in the past? Perhaps you have thought you should have acted differently or agreed to something you turned down. We have all felt that way, moments of regret and disappointment when we imagine a different past. What if I had left earlier? If only I had studied well. In English, we have a specific structure for talking about these what if moments from the past. We use it to imagine a different outcome for a situation that didn't actually happen. This is what we call the third conditional. It's a really useful way to express regrets, disappointments, or just imagine a different past. In this lesson, we will see what it means, when we use it, and how it's structured. Let's begin. Now let's look at the structure of the third conditional. We use this form to talk about something that didn't happen in the past and to imagine a different result. The if clause uses the past perfect and the main clause uses would have plus past participle. For example, if I had left early, I would have caught the bus. If she had studied harder, she would have passed the test. If we had checked the weather, we wouldn't have gone out. Notice the color coding. If clauses are shown in green and main clauses are shown in turquoise. You can also change the order of the clauses. I would have caught the bus if I had left early. The meaning is the same, but remember, when the if clause comes first, we use a comma between the two parts. And here is a note. We can also use could have or might have instead of would have to show different meanings, such as ability or possibility rather than a definite result. Now let's look at the meaning and use of the third conditional in real situations. We use this structure to talk about imaginary or unreal situations in the past, things that didn't happen and their imagined results. That is, what could have happened instead. It's often used to express regret, frustration, or even criticism, to show you're sorry about a past mistake or to comment on something that went wrong. Now let's look at some examples to understand how the third conditional works in real situations. If I had saved more money, I would have bought a car. This sentence talks about something that didn't happen, an unreal or imagined past. In reality, I didn't save enough money, so I couldn't buy a car. But in imagination, I'm thinking about a different past, one where I saved more money and bought the car. This sentence shows regret about something I didn't do, a missed opportunity in the past. Let's see another example. If we had left earlier, we wouldn't have missed the flight. Again, we are imagining a different past, a situation that didn't happen. We are simply reflecting on what could have been different. In reality, we left late and missed the flight. We are really disappointed about that. We wish we had left earlier, but it's too late now. All we can do is buy another ticket. But in imagination, we picture a past where we left earlier and caught the flight. So this sentence expresses regret or frustration about what we didn't do. Finally, look at this sentence. If you had listened to me, this wouldn't have happened. In reality, you didn't listen to me and something went wrong. But in imagination, we are picturing an unreal past where you listened to me and everything went well. This time, I'm expressing criticism or blame for a past mistake. We are unhappy about what happened. So the third conditional helps us talk about unreal or imaginary past situations. Times when we wish the past had been different, or when we feel sorry, frustrated, or angry about what happened. Even though we can imagine these situations, the past can't be changed. This structure simply helps us express how we feel about it and how things could have been different. Now, before we move on to practice, there is one more important point to look at. We understood that we can also use other modal verbs like could and might instead of would. The same thing applies here in the third conditional as well. Now let's look at how could have and might have can slightly change the meaning of a sentence. In the third conditional, we can use could have and might have instead of would have. We use could have to talk about ability or opportunity in the past. For example, if you had told me earlier, I could have gone to the party. I'm not saying I definitely would have gone. I'm saying I would have been able to go. It means I had the ability or chance to go. We use might have to talk about probability or uncertainty in the past. For example, if you had told me earlier, I might have gone to the party. That means it's only a possibility. We are not sure. If we were certain about that imagined result, we would use would have. But since we are not, might have is the better choice. Let's look at a quick summary to see the difference more clearly. Would have shows a definite or certain result. The action definitely would have happened in that imagined past. Could have shows ability or opportunity. Something you were able or had the chance to do but didn't. Might have shows possibility or uncertainty about what could have happened in the past. A result that was possible but not guaranteed. Now that we have seen how would have, could have, and might have changed the meaning slightly, let's move on and practice the third conditional sentences. Here is a short exercise for you. Fill in the blanks with the correct forms of the given verbs. And make sure that you use if plus past perfect in the if clause and would have plus past participle in the main clause. For questions, invert the subject and would. And remember, the if clause can come either at the beginning or at the end of the sentence. The meaning doesn't change. Pause the video now, complete all 10 sentences, and when you are ready, resume the video to check your answers. Let's check your answers together. On this slide, the if clauses are highlighted in green, and the main clauses are in turquoise, just as we have used throughout the lesson. Read each sentence carefully and compare your answers. If you made any mistakes, go back and review the structure, especially the use of if plus past perfect in the if clause and would have plus past participle in the main clause. And notice the question form. The subject and would are inverted. If something still feels unclear, feel free to ask in the comment box below. I'll be happy to reply and help you out. Now that you have checked your answers, let's try something a little more creative. Let's see how well you can apply what you have learned. This time, I'll give you a few real-life situations, and you will write your own third conditional sentences. Listen to the example first, then write your own sentences for the situations below. Use the correct structure. If plus past perfect in the if clause and would have plus past participle in the main clause. Based on the meaning that you want to convey, you can also use other modal verbs such as could or might instead of would. Let's look at an example first. He was very rude to you, so you didn't invite him to your party. Now let's express this using the third conditional. If he hadn't been so rude to me, I would have invited him to the party. Here, we are imagining a different past. One where he was polite and I invited him. That's exactly what the third conditional helps us do. Imagine a different result in the past. Now it's your turn. Pause the video, read each situation, and write one correct third conditional sentence for each. When you're done, resume the video to check some sample answers. You can also share your sentences in the comment section, and I'll check how you have done very soon. Are you ready? Let's begin. Now let's look at the sample answers and see how close your sentences are. Remember, your answers might not match these answers word for word, and that's perfectly fine. What matters is that you have used if plus past perfect in the if clause and would have or could have or might have plus past participle in the main clause correctly. Well done. Now, before we finish, let's quickly recap what we have learned about the third conditional. Let's quickly recap what we have learned. The third conditional is used to talk about imaginary situations in the past, things that didn't happen, and their possible results. We use if plus past perfect in the if clause, followed by would have plus past participle in the main clause. We often use it to express regret, frustration, or even criticism about past actions, missed opportunities, or mistakes. We also saw that other modal verbs can change the meaning slightly. Could have shows ability or opportunity, and might have shows possibility or uncertainty. And remember, the if clause can come either at the beginning or at the end of the sentence. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions or examples of your own, feel free to post them in the comments below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you. See you in the next video.